Chat. How is this composition played? Think about it. What is the goal with each of these compositions? To win. Brilliant. Thank you. What about Glads? Like, just compare them. Like, the thing is we know both one of them brawl. They both want to win. To brawl it out, right? But like, what do Glads have, and what does London have? Like, what are the advantages one compared to the other? Glads want to spam a little more. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Junk and Orisa versus Dive Diva May. Yeah, pretty much. Like, I look at this and I'm like, really, Bird Ring is just gonna like play like super hyper aggressive and just hope for a lot of early pressure. And I look at Orisa and I'm like, okay, well, so if you look at the London's comp, London's comp has better like space control. So in other words, they can like take angles, right, and pressure from multiple different angles with the better range of the May and the better mobility of the Diva. And then with the Orisa Junk, it's literally just one direction. Like, I would best describe London's comp or Paris's comp, or oh my gosh, the Glad's comp as very one directional. It's one very powerful punch. 2 shields, Junkrats plus Symmetra Spam right in your mouth. Hopefully London's able to open things up a little bit, otherwise they're going to struggle. So I really want to slow this down. So Calyx gets there early, and I assume that's either for scouting information early on or for an early boop to disrupt. Why does Calyx go here early? I'm going to try and see if I can figure this out. Maybe he tries to get there for the boop up. I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, maybe he's going for the boop up, the disruption boop. Either way, he gets there a little bit early. His team's still in his aura. I mean, yeah, at that point, I don't think that he can get there in time to actually land the boop on the TP. I don't think. But, yeah. Let's see here. So good job on terms of taking angles, but it's just too late. So basically, like, the only way to look at this is just basically London just gets W keyed. They just get legit W keyed over by the double shield, and they're just gonna go in and they're just gonna annihilate them. And if like, where's our May wall here? Let me look at our May wall. Yeah, the May wall's not good. The May wall's not good at all. So what you'd want from your May wall is you'd want to be able to split these guys, and this split doesn't really happen. Like, this split is almost as if they're the ones W key in, but then they get run over. I feel this is in inferior, because if you May walled right here, probably a different story. Right here. Yeah. I think the May wall is just not great. And the May wall would have blocked a lot of the incoming damage as well. Like, the only advantage you have over this comp is really May wall and slightly superior range. But in this point, the superior range of May over Junkrat's not going to matter. And you scuffed your May wall. So I think this is just a bad May wall. It's just a bad May wall. Bad May wall. And they're not able to abuse like the advantages enough. How? And then Molthik gets the kill, but ends up trading for it. And then while they have point control, I mean, really, what's left to do here? Like, the only thing left is to look for boops, which they don't get. Shax, what? Ah, Shax. Oh man, this is not good. Okay. So honestly, chat, there's not a lot to say here. Without going into such nitty-gritty detail, it's going to be ridiculously boring. Blase muffs his May wall. Basically, and they get W keyed over Molfig trades his life trying to get a good angle in the backline to like, put pressure on the squishies, and then they end up basically they lose it. They lose it as a result. But the big thing here is that London does properly back out, but they needed to actually get a good recontest here, and they needed a recontest from like an angle. Honestly, I don't even feel like I would go sim here. I don't know that I would go sim into sim Junkrat, but I don't know. Okay, let's just say you stay sim. If you're gonna stay sim, I probably would not have. I don't know if that I would. Yeah, I would not have gone here. This is way too aggressive. I would have come back here, double back, gone with my team, or if you're gonna like play from an angle here and spam right clicks here and just watch out for Orisa halt. That's the way to go. They're going for like a speedy recontest here, and then this scuffs it here. Like once Shaxx is dead, Molfig swaps off of D.Va just to get back in time to touch points. They can get a quick recontest, but ultimately Shaxx just feeds, and then Molfig just like Molfig swapping the ball is now just a disaster because he only went ball for a recontest that's not going to happen because Shaxx fed. So deep mistakes from the DPS line from London. Probably gonna go Kree. Oh, they're gonna stay sim. Actually, yeah, I don't know if Kree would be the play here. There's not enough. The sightlines here are too bad. There's the TP. It's probably a bait. Yeah, it's a bait. They destroy this. There's the lamp. Huge. This is where London synergy really matters. Where was that fire strike? Missing the eat in this halt is pretty sucky. Not gonna lie. Oh, he eats the fire strike. Never mind. That's just as good. So never mind. That's fine. I got 8. Nice. Okay, and then this just gets you going. Okay, so that's the advantage of the you know, the D.Va there is you shut down that play entirely. So well done by Molfig. Now what they need to do here is we don't W key 6 through here. So what you're going to see is what I'd like to see is we go through here. I would like to see Mei and D.Va split this way, or at least D.Va and Sim split this way and put pressure like this as they walk through this choke. Now Glads are in trouble. Glads really need to be able to find a way to get Kevster charged up in the beam ASAP and then hard push somebody. You don't really have another ultimate here besides Simwall. So you can, I assume that you're going to be able to get Kevster charged and you're going to be able to play around with Simwall with that. So hopefully that works out. There's the split push there. Hadi makes it through. Molfig makes it through. Then we start to see pressure from the opposite side. But obviously, like, honestly, if I was Hadi here, I would just shatter. Okay, he does. I honestly didn't remember if he did or not. Nice. Okay. Okay. Chat, what do you guys think about the sim wall? What do you guys think about the sim wall? Yeah, basically what Valkyrian said when it said it came to Brawl meta, yeah. I think the sim wall is poopy cheeks. I think the sim wall sucks. The sim wall, the fight is not happening here. The fight is happening across the point. The whole like sim wall is such an easy ultimate, and I don't understand how people don't understand this. Split the fight. Put it in the middle of the fight. So this sim wall needs to either be positioned here or positioned to go across this way. This is a bad sim wall. There's just nothing nice to say about this. This is a bad sim wall. Kevster can do better than this. This needs to split the battlefield. He leaves it on one side, which means basically his entire team has to hug this area of the map to get anything out of it, and ultimately it gets them shattered. If this sim wall is better, he doesn't get shattered. He's a million charge, and they might even clutch this fight. Chat, just sim wall in the middle. Just split the battlefield. Don't sim wall on one side. It just astonishes me how many players scuff this up. But nice retake from Boston. Holy cow. London. And the big thing here is that now they have a sim wall of their own and a Mei ult. So what I want from London is I want them, you know, obviously hard hold here with, you know, whatever, you know, and then, you know, hard wall the choke. But I really want like most of London, anyone that can to play further back. Do not give Junkrat the opportunity to 2-tap anybody. No concussive grenade opportunities whatsoever. Concussive mine. Play further back, like Sim plays like max range, etc. And then you just look for Sim wall mid fight. Plus Blizzard. Yeah, you just take fighting point here. If you have, and the problem is you kind of, whenever you're playing sim mirrors, you almost always end up having to take fight on point anyway, whether you want to or not. Because if you take fight here, they just TP to point, and then you end up attacking even though you had the point. So positioning wise here, looks fine to me. Honestly, looks okay. I don't know what they're trying to build up. Drip tire. Okay, so that's what they're trying to do. Trying to build up drip tire. Chat, what do we think about the sim wall? What do you think? Compare the sim wall with the previous one. Better or worse? Or same? It's fine. Yeah, this does the job. This splits the battlefield. It gives you lots of opportunities. But yeah, way better. I mean, can you imagine how obnoxious it's going to be to break these turrets as well? This is nice. The rip tire is obviously the scary thing, though. And they blizzard as well. That's probably fine. Like, don't even give them an opportunity to win this with rip tire. If rip tire kills 1 or 2, GG is fine. But assume that this is going to be a bloody and ugly fight and that you need to commit more. I don't like beat and lamp being used, though. So he drops off. That's just a lot of ultimates used. Shit. Yeah. Doesn't end up mattering though. I think if you're London, you're okay with that because you're like, shoot, we won that fight, but it was really expensive. But they also used bead. They use shatter. They use rip tire as well. I don't think you mind using an additional ultimate or matching their ultimate safe one control. This is totally fine. So for Glads. So for Glads, I think the goal should have been this. You rip tire in. You're beating in. I don't think you beat. I don't think beat is the play here. I think you're like, they're already, so here's the thing, Chad. I think like you look at this here and you're like, they're already probably kiting because you're rip tiring. So they're going to be giving up a little bit of space. Unless, right? So you're going to take advantage of that space. I think what you'd like to do is you'd like to take space through choke. You're not worried about Mei wall. You're running Orisa Rhine. You're fine. Use lamp, maybe, and then beat later. This is not a good beat from Moth. They're beating and trying to initiate, and they're not even playing a good comp to do that with. They're running like Orisa Sim Junkrat. This beat is bad. This is a bad beat from Moth. Moth needs to be focusing on breaking turrets, surviving, looking for an opportunity to lamp when he needs to. And then you can beat mid-fight afterwards. This shatter is also a little scuffed. The shatter doesn't land. So the shatter's scuffed. The beat is bad. And Blase comes in and gets the freeze anyway. Like, beat now would have made sense. Or lamp. Like, yeah. Molfig, what are you doing, you madman? What is this? I need healing. That's actually pretty gutsy. I can respect. That's a lot of space for your team. As long as he doesn't get demacked. Yeah, so that's a lot. That's really good from both Molf and Shax there. Good sim wall. Good little TP there. Some distract. Because again, that's how you beat this comp. You're not going to beat this comp straight up. You need to beat this comp by being behind it and splitting their attention. So yeah, not a great beat from Moth. Who ended up destroying Tire here? Shax does. How does Shax destroy Tire? Let's look, chat. Could Birdring had gotten somebody with Tire? Jeez. Okay, that's nuts. Birdring. Let's see what happened to the Tire. Yeah, that's not it. That's not it. Going this way is like just asking for it to be instantly nuked. So bad tire from Birdring, bad shatter from Muse, bad beat from Moth. So like we got the holy trifecta. And if you look at all of London's ults, were pretty decent. The Simwall was good. The Mei ult was fine. The beat probably fine. I wouldn't have loved to have used that if we could have just relied on Lamp for a little bit, but understandably. But the tire was just very poor, and as was the beat. So okay. So if you're here, okay, so Birdring goes Mei. I think if you're here, if you are Glads, I think your goal needs to be to build up. Maybe you can go for a window pick, but you need to I would try and look to build up Simwall before you actually walk in a point. Unless you guys get an initial pick, I would not walk in a point without Simwall. For London, this is going to be a rough fight. So first off, you need to make sure that you're positioned around countering their window. And then I think you're okay with like letting them come onto point, and then you can counter a window after that. So yeah, Bongo is a concern. So they're just gonna go. They're not even gonna win the window, or that's strange. I feel like I would window like right here, because you could force Maywall or Lamp. You could force some cooldowns, walk on a point, and then you could still Bongo back. Like I don't know, Bongo feels interesting. But I think why would I Bongo here and not window? Chat, do you have any thoughts? Why would you Bongo here and not window? Because you obviously don't want to Bongo in the middle of point. It's too easy to get it destroyed. I push them out. I mean, the same thing goes with window. It's the same, accomplishes the same goal. So why would you Bongo over window? Is there a reason? Does it really matter? Is it just like they just because you can kite window? I mean, you really can't. Not here. Like you're gonna kite and give. It's the same thing. It's Bongo and window are accomplishing the same goal here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's not a big deal. I think either one of them are close enough. Does Bongo allow for more angles? I mean, potentially, yeah, that's true. Like you can Bongo here and split. So we'll see. They wall in. They notice that they wall off Blase. That's the goal. They wall in. So there's the Bongo. Hadi is in pretty good danger here. That's a weird wall. Weird wall. Weird wall. Weird wall. So I think you just need to destroy TP. Like you're not scared. Like take one or two icicles, destroy TP, and then save and wall this. This is a really heavy investment for not a lot of return. Because yeah, obviously TP is a little scary. It's not as scary now that they're not in Junkrat, but it's a little scary. But it's not worth using a wall for. Break the TP and then wall here. Even if you wall, because like right now you can wall, and the TP would be broken, and a wall right here, absolutely busted. You can wall the Bongo and split off the entire follow-up. This is a bad wall. That's true, Windfall, yeah. So not a good wall from London. And Space just gets run down. Or Hadi just gets run down. So Hadi is probably playing this a little too aggressive. That Fire Strike was not recommended. And that swing was not recommended either. He was not an HP to where that was necessary. And then, but just at the wall, man. The wall is just so bad. Like, Blase, what is Blase doing? Is he freezing? He's icicling. He really needs to be freezing. He needs to be freezing here because the slow on the Rhine is probably a little more valuable than the icicles, especially because he's not landing headshots. If you land a headshot with every single icicle you throw, then sure, I can understand why you'd right click here. But you have a Ryan that's literally just walking right through your team, and you're just letting him do that. Like obviously the Orisa is fortified, so you're not going to freeze her, but the freeze is not. So Blase's Mei leaves much to be desired here. Because everybody else from London is playing this, I think, correctly. I mean, he's right-clicking through window, but I mean, everything else from. I mean, honestly, the window is actually a scuff because look at the wall, chat. Look at the wall. Look at the wall. Look at Reaper. He's stuck. Hadi and Reaper are actually stuck on their own Mei wall. You should not lose to just a bongo. That is unacceptable. Can we look at... When was the window place, or where was the window place as well? The window's not that great either for Reaper. Reaper, like, you would have preferred it to be back of point, because you know you're going to be giving space to this composition anyway. No pun intended. I'm not a huge fan of the window. Like, I think, like, at that point, Hadi was already at an HP to where he was not in a position to fire strike. The idea is that, hey, I'm putting this in a position for Hadi to fire strike through, but he can't fire strike right now. If he fire strike, he's already used fire strike first off, but he's backing. There will be no circumstance in which case he will be able to fire strike this. It's just not happening. For London, I mean, it's a good Mei wall. It gets you in, and we look for London's angles. So London pushes hard this side. They split push. They get the Mei wall. I think Birdwing should split here. So Birdwing should not be. So like Birdwing, yeah, Birdwing splits. There you go. Yeah. So honestly, there wasn't anything great that Glads did. Glads did it fine. There wasn't anything particularly wrong with Glads, but London scuffed that one hard. Bongo was the most decisive ult at the pro level? What do you mean decisive? So you look at Khan from Paris? Sure. I mean, I coached his Ana, so I hope his BAP is okay. By the way, Khan, back when he was IBTB, most of you guys know this, but I coached Don and Khan like almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. Oh, highest team fight win percentage? That was back with the Arista Sigma meta, yeah. I don't know if that's the case anymore, though. It is a very impactful ultimate, though. Okay, let's see what we do here. So really, as Glads, let's flip the script here. Let's flip the script. Let's look Glads first. Glads, all you want to do here is like just turtle on point, Mei wall, and then look for a shatter. Or Sim wall and just look for shatter. Let's hope Kevster gets a better wall. There you go. There you go. That's a much better Sim wall. Oh my gosh. What? How does Muse get pinned? Come on, Muse. Why is Muse turning around? What's going on here? What? If he counterpins this, he just the TP baits him. Ah, come on, man. Y'all need to chill with that, brother. This can't happen. This pin is monstrous. So Glads gets split, and that's fine for Glad. That's okay. But this Mei wall creates so much space. So much space. Now, for Glads here, I honestly don't know what you do. You have to retake on main, but that's going to feel really bad. There's the shatter. Okay. Are they going to be able to get anything out of it? Yes. Wait, what? How? How did you guys do this, Glads? So I think the best way to look at this is like, this is why Glads do this. Do you kind of see how the concave they have going on here? Space is literally DPSing right now. Space is just DPSing. Space is completely uncontested, split off, and just DPSing. So you take it. From London's side, I think this was a fine ult plan. You didn't have a whole lot to go into going this fight. You have probably the two weakest ultimates on the field right now. It's just Shatter and Pin, or Shatter and Bomb. It does a good job. It forces Lamp. It gets you all the space in the world. Now, what needs to happen now? First off, do we have Mei wall? We do. So what needs to happen now is Hadi needs to chill, and we need to get rid of space. So space is for his fortify. He sees Mei. Do we get a big Mei wall here? We do. But then the shatter lands. which is an indirect result, and we don't even get lamp off. Oh no, that is a tragedy. Oh no, that is so unfortunate. So Reaper moves in to because of sim wall, and ultimately we don't get our lamp off of but yeah, ultimately, like, what happens is London, for better or for worse, they all go in because of sim wall or whatever, and then space is just literally uncontested. Like, space is just... he's just uncontested. So I don't know, like, that's just a really unfortunate like shatter, like that you needed to be able to track that and position around that, hopefully a little bit better. But getting shattered, like, if we lamp this, it's over. London wins easily. Good news is that you still have last fight, and you still have a pretty massive ult bank coming up here, because you're gonna have essentially have the opportunity to get 5 ultimates, excuse me, mid fight. Again, let's look at this from Glad's perspective. What would you do if you're Glad's? Probably just play on point, wait till they come, and then honestly, I would you got 2 options here. You could take this almost like a dry fight, like, okay, we might just lose this fight, but we're gonna try and make them pay for it, and you just look for picks or whatever. Or you could go for like a TP play, like go for like a TP, you know, a TP your Symmetra May, or try something like that, or TP your Ryan, go for that. Or you could just play like hard punish them and choke, and like waste as much time as possible and make them use both their Sim and May ult, and then you guys recontest. Or you could go for a beat engage. As soon as they get close, as soon as they get within wall distance, they come in, you wall, you beat, you rush, and you kill that target. So Glads have a lot of options here. With London, you're gonna want to win this fight, and you'd love to win it without using both Sim and May. You'd love to win this without using both Sim and May, because those are gonna be your 2 biggest impactful ultimates right here. So there's this. Oh, Shax. Is Shax slow? You had time, man. You're walking like super slow. You can see. Oh, that's so bad. This hardly splits anything at all. This is a really poor sim wall, because again, it only impacts this little section of the fight. Glads just have to kite a little bit, and then the sim wall is almost worthless. There's the sim wall. The May wall is okay-ish. It kites off, it breaks off the enemy. That works. You cut off the enemy, you cut off Bird Ring, and you're able to cut off a little bit of support. Did he have to use it there? No, I don't think he did. I think they could have touched and been okay. Like, there was no rush. Molf could have touched. Rick Kellis could have touched. Hadi could have, like, toed point and backed out. There really was no reason for him to May wall or sim wall then. But then Blase is in, and Blase just chucks a May ult and dies. How does it even go off? He just gets nuked. I mean, this is where, like, I would have very clearly, thank you. This is where I really think May splitting off from Urian is the play if you can. Like, you guarantee they can only wall you or wall Urian. They can't wall both, and like, you can go for this wall as well. I don't think May stacking here is the play. I think May split on the retake makes a lot more sense. And then ultimately, he doesn't quite have his Blizzard. He has it now. He's smashing the Q, but then he doesn't shift fast enough, and he just instantly dies. The turrets just annihilate him, and the Blizzard never even goes off. And now, because you've got a bad wall and bad May, and May's gone, Moth can just beat here, and he gets a pretty decent beat, all things considered. He gets 4-man beat, and this is it. It's over. There's nothing more to say. Like, the fact that London even makes a fighting chance of it is just a miracle. Blase and Shax have not looked good this map. Had 2 bad sim wall. Shax getting picked. Blase has not looked good in the May. His walls have not been like we've wasted a couple walls, some questionable stuff with his freeze, then losing his May ult there is literally fight losing. Like that's why they lose this point. So not impressed. Not impressed right now. That's unfortunate. Okay, I'm gonna have a bite of rice. I'm starving. You guys have any questions so far? Mm-hmm. Yep. So Blase's positioning hasn't been amazing. Walls haven't been amazing. Shaxx muffed that wall at the end, which really hurt. Why do some teams run Ryan Orisa maps versus Ryan Diva? Because Ryan Orisa is better if there is the flanks are minimal. Think about it. Like you can put your diva on an angle, and that's where the diva is really dominant, or hurting DPS around, or abusing high ground. But if you're playing on a map where that's not as good, then that's why it's good. Now, is Ryan Diva or is Ryan Orisa better than Ryan Diva on that map? I don't know. I think Molf got a lot of work done with Diva there. To be honest, I think he got a lot of work done. I think the majority of the issues lay with some unlucky things in London's DPS. But is Orisa better? I don't know. We don't know. I'm just explaining why we're seeing it picked. If the image team tries to do Ryan pin and Diva bomb to get shield done, what should you do is Ryan? I mean, if you can take the pin outside of LS with the Diva bomb, you can take the pin, or you can counter pin and hope you get lamped, or you get back up again. Oh yeah, update stream title. Yeah, true. My bad. Give me a second, guys. Title: London versus Gladiators review. My bad. What about Ryan Zarya versus Ryan Orisa? Yeah, same reason. Zarya is not going to outvalue Orisa in a one-directional war until she gets like a million charge. Orisa's second shield plus halt plus damage plus fortify are gonna do more than Zarya until she gets like 90 charge. Zarya is only gonna outvalue that by opening up space and like playing angles. As soon as if you were to play like a composition that was literally just a tunnel with no high grounds, no angles or anything, you'd play like a Ryan Orisa, Symmetra, Junkrat, Bap Zen or something like that, or Bap Lucio. That's why you see Symmetra Junk here as well. Those heroes are terrible at flanks and angles. They're awful. But if you're talking just one choke, then yeah, Sim Junkrat's gonna work. So why do you think you play a Sigma here, chat? Why do you think you play a Sigma here? What is Molf going to be doing as Sigma against the Orisa? You guys tell me. Yeah, Molks and Shaxx off angles here. I would say actually in this comp, who do you think off angles more, Symmetra or Junkrat? See if you guys should be able to get this one. Can eat right in. Yeah. Yeah, Junk off angles almost always more, because the Symmetra is looking for barriers, Junkrat's looking for backlines. Like that's what Junkrat's doing, especially when you have like AoE damage with Conk. So what you're gonna see here is you're gonna see both teams probably meet here. Molf generally, so one of the big things that Molf does, and on credit to is he shifts in and he can eat all the damage on this entry here and maybe create enough space for his team here. But basically, the way London wins is off angles. They're not going to be able to beat Gladiators straight up. It's just not going to happen. So hopefully we see Molf utilizing off angles, but not only Molf, but Blase as well. Blase needs to use off angles as Junk. He cannot just shoot shields. He cannot shoot shields. He will not break their shields faster than they break his. It's just not going to happen. Because so he has better mobility too. Yeah, because the thing is with junk is you can play here and shoot shield if you want to. But if you have the opportunity, you're gonna start shooting backline. Like you'll shoot, like for example, like think about it this way: if you're Reinhardt and there's a Reinhardt versus Reinhardt war, when Reinhardt's shield gets spammed out, he's gonna stand here and he's gonna drop shield, right? That's where junk comes in. He's gonna stand here and spam shield. Then the Reinhardt's gonna drop shield to recharge, and you're gonna keep shooting him. And he's gonna have to back off. He's gonna either die or like this denies cover. You can't use this as cover when you have a junk right here. You cannot use this as cover when you have a junk right here. You cannot use this as cover when you have a junk right here. You see what I'm saying, chat? When you're controlling white, you deny 1, 2, 3 parts of the map for cover to hide from damage. Does that make sense? It's not just about getting to backline. You know, it's more about the fact that you deny the entire, they can't hide. There's nowhere for them to hide. And the way this map is situated is they're all small sightlines where Junkrat is really good. Wait, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm sitting on pause. You love Doom Reaper in this point? I mean, it's short sightlines, so yeah, it works. Why is Sim used? Because barriers. Because the reason Sim is used is because short sightlines and your short sightlines and Symmetra, the longer the fight goes in short sightlines, the higher damage she does. You don't want to play Symmetra when the sightlines are really long because you can't get her beam really high. Short sightlines, right, exactly. Symmetra, think about it this way. You might play a Reaper here and just hold mouse 1 and you do a lot of damage and a lot of shield pressure. Symmetra's a lot like the Reaper. But she has a better ultimate and she is more consistent with her damage. Reaper's a little bit more better with flanks, but Symmetra's more consistent with her damage. So you walk out here with Symmetra and short sight and just hold mouse 1, hold mouse 1, hold mouse 1. The other thing to note about Symmetra is look at her HP now. This is significant. It's not massive, but it is noticeable. She has 25 more HP now. And your ult is one of the best ultimates in the game when it comes to straight up mirrors. She has Kree health now. Yep. So very, 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 very big deal. And also things like this, like if you win first fight, TPs are really annoying. Like, or turrets are really annoying. Like turrets right here are really annoying. Okay, so Glads have to just somehow find a way to run these guys down. London is gonna have to play angles. I think London has... If London wins first fight, London should not lose a fight. Unless it was like to some crazy Riptire. Can we do a submit a sim VOD and I will do a sim VOD review. I would love the challenge. Okay, so throwing out turrets. There's the halt. Do you see Molfig? Do you see Molfig? Do you see what he's doing, chat? Look at this. Look at all the damage he's eating right now. Look at that. Look how much HP. He's gonna have so much HP. Wait, what? He doesn't need anything. Did they just not shoot him?
Teleporter online.
What? Oh, Molf? Oh, he drops shield. He uses his barrier. That's a mistake on Molfig's part. He barriers into shield and just shifts, but his barrier ends up eating most of the damage. And then they purposely don't shoot him. Space is just N. Do you see Space? This is what Orisa does. This is what Orisa does. This is what Orisa is going to do. She's going to throw her shield, she's going to fortify, and she's just going to run in. She's just going to run in. It's the only way they're going to beat this. Yeah, so this is what so do you notice? Okay, and this is what he enables. So Space just runs in, creates a lot of pressure. Look at the pressure he creates. Do you see how he clears this out? Look, look, look. Zzz. And then what does this enable? Look at what this enables Kevster to do. Look at this, what this enables Birdring to do. You see what this easy angle Birdring has down this choke? Bingo. Easy. Chad, if you're London, obviously we can look at this as a little bit unlucky, but ultimately I don't think it really is. I don't think it is. I would not treat this as unlucky. I think this is a good space clearing by Gladiators and playing to the compositional strength. If you were London here and you saw Orisa, how would you play this? What do you think would be the proper play if you're London, right here? What micro adjustment would you make? Fall back, create a concave. Yeah, I think I would S key out towards point, split this way, bait them out, and then once they start to push you on point, then you start pushing them here. Yeah, I think I would do that. Maybe have Sig kite back this way, right? And then if they start to push Hadi just kites all the way to here, or all the way, and then you push out here. I don't think you really want to meet them in here. I don't think so. Especially with Molfig on such low HP, because if Molfig had gotten like 800 HP, Molfig could have been played like a complete moron and gotten away with it. But yeah, but the good news is that ultimately somehow Blase gets a pick here. Because Blase's positioning here is not very good. I mean, that's luck right there. That's almost just essentially luck. And Blase, really what you'd like to see is the kite back. And okay, so right now, we don't like this. Oh no. Look at how Birdring gets this kill. Look at how Birdring gets this kill. I'm telling you, chat, it's the Ingles. It's always the Ingles. It will always be the Ingles forever and ever and ever. Yes, this is ridiculously like lucky / skilled from Birdring, but yeah. My frustration here is that I'm not really liking London's positioning. Like at this point in time, okay, fine, we kite it out, but like at this point in time, Molfig and Blase really should just be already, like, especially when you see Junkrat here, you should already be coming here. You should be doing this. You should be the one getting the lucky picks here. No, there's an infinite amount of damage that Sigma can eat. He'll go to like 800 HP. I think that's as high as he can go, but like, but yeah, this is not good. This is poor positioning from London. This is good, but now it's too late. I mean, they actually end up almost clutching this because of this. This is good. Honestly, what is Calyx doing? Calyx, hello? Is he trying to stall point? He must get halted. Ah, he just scuffs it up. He shouldn't have peeked that. That's a mistake from Calyx. But now you just need to back out. Let's see how much HP do we get here. Holy cow. 657? Maybe it's not 800. Maybe it's like 700. It's a good concave you got going here. I'm a little concerned because you have no supports. Okay, so we like to see this. Chat, is this what we want to see from London approximately right here? Get the angles before the other team does. I mean, if you can, and if you lose the angles, then back off and retake them again. You don't just give up. Cheers, Vok. Yeah, this looks good. Wait, there's a problem. Where's the problem? Where's the problem? Do you guys see the problem? Do you guys see the major problem? Major problem. Junk. Why is Junk going back to main? Look at what your sightlines are going to be. Look at what your sightlines would be from here. Come on, Blase. Come on, Blase. And then Molf ends up actually cycling this way as well. And this is what we do not like to see. See it? Do you see the positioning? Like, when I say that Orisa versus Sigma is all about straightforward pressure, I'm not saying that the Orisa comp isn't going to take angles. They'll take angles, and if you let them take angles, Space would love to just sit AFK in your backline and chill. The problem is that the Sigma comp should not let you. They should not be able to let you, because between his shift, between his shield, which is slightly higher, and his CC and stuff like that, he generally does a better job of holding an angle than an Orisa does. He also has more consistent range damage, right? So Orisa is more of a brawly style hero with some spam, and Sigma's less of a brawly style hero with better spam. So Orisa is more than happy to off angle here. She's gonna off angle, but it's not that Orisa stops Sigma from angling. It's that Sigma should be the one taking the angles away from Orisa. And right now, like, why is my Sigma Junkrat? Why are they both here? Look at this. 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 Again, the only reason Birdwing dies is complete luck. Complete luck. Look at the positioning Gladiators have on London right now. Look at the positioning they have. Look at them. And Blase dies. And honestly, the fact that Blase even goes back towards main here, chat, we can take this and run with it, boys. We can take this and sprint. What is the issue with this Riptire? What is the issue with this Riptire? Where do we go with the Riptire? Do you see it? We go towards main, where everybody in the earth can see it, and where we open up the possibility for the angle that's established by here would have killed. Like, can you imagine if he goes for Sim here? He kills Sim, he survives, and then he takes the angle and abuses it himself. The entire mentality is wrong. Now, this is just one team fight here. But I'm telling you, there's something wrong with the entire mentality, because it's not just how he positions, it's how he uses his abilities, and ultimately how he uses his ultimate. Everything lines up wrong. It's wrong. Glad somehow out-angle it. The Orisa gets an angle, the Symmetra gets the angle, and they just lose. And Molfig gives up the angle as well. I don't know if he just gets out-pressured, but honestly, even if Molfig gets pressured, Molfig should not go back here. Molfig should go here. He wasn't being pressured at all. Le flank, yeah. And now this is really bad for... But there's no way London wins this fight. What I would do is I would flux in here, maybe from main and swing this way, or I'd flux here and swing this way, and try and look for like a greedy... Like, honestly, this would be where I would probably send Blase into their backline. You're going to have another team fight. Don't worry about Blase. Probably needs to be coming through here and then looking to like 2-tap off of the flux. You're not going to win this team fight. You know they have Bongo. You know they have Beat. You know they have Riptire. You know they have Simwall. You need to get a pick here. Blase needs to be in the backline. You see this, chat? Utilize your flux as a distraction and go for a 2-tap. Because if Blase comes through here and gets like even one kill on like the BAP, you can win this fight. You can absolutely win this fight. And they could blow all their ultimates and still lose. This is bad. Tiny Muse shield? Yeah, check this out. Yeah, come on, brother. Let's go. So I'm not a fan of what London is doing right now. There's the counter. They don't need to beat this. They could beat this or... I would probably beat this. Might as well. Build up your next beat. I don't like, why risk lamp not working properly? Ah, that's a mistake. Come on, man. Why are you lamping? They do kite it really well though. That's really good. So actually, that plan was even better than mine. I didn't even remember this happening. They actually bait. They look like they're engaging, and they literally just run. A little fortunate that they did use Simwall, but hey, you take it. 2 for 1, and no ult charge fed at all. Do you see that? No ult charge fed at all. So you're gonna go into this fight with 2 ults, or almost actually 3 ults. It's gonna be actually of an ult advantage. And Birdwing also uses Tire. That's honestly a mistake from Birdwing or Kevster. You should have just said, hey, they're fluxing. We're just going to use Beat, and then you win the fight with Riptire. That was a mistake. Probably would prioritize Riptire because you're going to build it back faster than Simwall most of the time. Let's actually see what's going on here. What's going on here? So I really want Shax to build Simwall before we actually engage here. Ooh, careful. They were not ready for that engage. Reaper counter. That's just a scuff from Glads. Questionable beat. Really questionable beat. Really questionable beat. You still had lamp. You just, like, you kited it successfully. Very questionable beat. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay, you know, Could have been a lot cleaner from London, but whatever. You cap the point. You have to be happy with that. And you're going to have both DPS ultimates and Shatter next fight. It could be a lot worse. Where was LAG's window to engage, and why was Moss so far back? I mean, Gladiators should... So Gladiators are trying to look for a really greedy window. So Gladiators are looking for a really greedy, aggressive window because they knew they were at an ult disadvantage. So they were like, okay, these guys have wall, they have beat, they have this and that. Let's just go for a quick pick. My question is, why did they press W? I don't know why they pressed W. Like, do you see this here? Where's my window? This is not a good plan. Just because you are the Orisa comp that can press W doesn't mean you can walk through a choke into the middle of the enemy team by yourself. This is not a good plan. So I was expecting, when I saw them here, I was expecting like an early BAP window and then have like a Junkrat on a flank here and try and get a kill, like clean it up here. Instead, they literally just walk through the middle of the enemy team and then they BAP window, but the BAP window is late and your Ryan and Lucio are already in. That's just ridiculously sloppy planning from Gladiators. That has to be either a communicational, like Korean and English confusion. Like that is just that's just a horrific fight plan from Glads. It has to be some sort of like language barrier issue because that was just terrible. That is never okay. If you were ever to run in here, you would always do so with the Junkrat setup. And I don't think that would ever be the plan anyway. Like I would never. It's not only was it poorly executed, it was a bad plan to begin with. So, for London again, you really just want to play on point, like or play around point. That's where your angles are better. I would not even be like hard stuffing this choke. So like here, now this is an interesting rotation from Gladiators. It's high risk, high reward because yes, you technically clear out white so that their Sigma cannot use it. But it does mean you have to walk through a small choke to do that. So what we want to see here is really Hadi should not really want to be in here. This is a little scary for him to be in here. And then what we want here is Molf and once again Blase, probably leaning towards their spawn, are going to back out, spamming as they're backing out, double back here, and beat the living crap out of their butt cheeks. You see what I'm saying? Hadi is at no risk whatsoever. He can kite out towards point. He's got speed boost. This sim wall is literal butt cheeks. This is a terrible sim wall. They just needed to kite. You kite out and then you flank out through here. Do you look at this? Look at this. Look at this kill. Absolutely free. And you can kill Bongo. And you can spam out this choke. I hate the sim wall. And he dies to the sim. This is just a terrible sim wall. You should not be fighting in there. You have angles on point. This is a fundamental map control misconception. This is so bad. You sim wall as if you're pushing in. Shax is going in. London is going out. Shax is on the different page and he's doing the wrong thing. Not only is it bad for London to push in here, it's bad for Shax, even worse for Shax, excuse me, to do it by himself. This is a huge error. And why is Molfig on main? Why is Blase on main? Birdring on an angle on Shax, once again creating space. And look at this here. It's over. Blase tires. It's not going to matter. Over. Are we going to even get a recontest here? Yes, Windfall. What does double back mean? Double back means as in you started one direction and then went back the other. In other words, double back was like we had Blase and Molfig set up in here earlier and then they had to kite out, but they didn't just say, okay, GG's, I guess we lose, time to go home. No, they sneak back and they try it again, right? You lost this flank here. They sent 6 people in here. You have to back up. But then as they leave this area and start to go to point, which they have to, you don't just let them stay in here. You go back and recontest it. Instead, Molfig and Blase especially just sat in main, and Shax pushed in by himself into a concave and just died. Like, there's nothing even to review here. They have a scuff comp. It's just a disaster, a train wreck. Like, actually, like we'll watch. Okay, we'll look a little bit. We'll watch it a little bit. Shax on an angle. Whereas Molf is on ball. Shax gets halted and doesn't get support. Space is just getting away with murder. That's where you'd probably like this is where I want. I think Kellex is really mispositioned here. Kellex should be like assisting this right here. Kellex is not doing anything where his position is at now. He should be assisting this here, and this doesn't happen. Kellex needs to be enabling Shaxx to play there. That's all we've got for this chat. I honestly think looking at this, there's nothing like London's macro is okay on this map. It's not great. But we're seeing a lot of errors from Shaxx and Blase in terms of like team synergy and like understanding of like map control and positional stuff. Like they're not playing very well with their ultimates either. Definitely felt like Shaxx and Blase were lagging behind a little bit, and they need to get up to space. Exactly, Windfall. You nailed it perfectly. Could not have said it better myself if I thought about it all day long. Yeah, that's literally exactly what I mean. Yep. Yep. Let Glad's brute force it, come out the point, and then sneak in the back door. That's all you needed to do. But I mean, Glad's just out W key London because London's positional errors / individual errors from their DPS line just they get punished for it. They aren't up to speed yet? Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm flaming Blase and Shaxx, but there's a million reasons why they could be screwing this up. They're both very good players. Both of them are very, very good players. Just in this instance here, that they didn't perform up to snuff. So hopefully that stuff gets situated because this really felt like London had every opportunity to win this map. Glad's also felt very clunky. Glad's just felt like they were playing the composition that was less punishing for them being clunky, if that makes any sense. Like space just kind of existed and that was that. And you know, the whole Ryan Orisa versus Ryan Diva thing, unquestionably the Diva comp is a little harder to play. It also felt like Birdring was out positioning. Like Birdring was consistently like positioned a little better than Blase and Junkrat, I think. But yeah. I think DPS line, I think the Gladiators DPS line played a little better. I think that was a big factor in who won this map.